Ladies and gentlemen, I have searched and searched and searched for the best flat earth model in existence. I've looked all over this globe looking for the best flat earth model, and I believe I have found it. I have found, in fact, nothing better, nothing offered from any flat earther that does better than the model I'm about to share with you. Better in every single way. It better represents, or at least equally represents, accurate distances across the surface of the Earth as every single other model offered by Flat Earther. It also just as accurately or more accurately represents the factual information that Flat Earthers have presented in reference to where the Earth is in relation to the rest of the universe. It is same amount of quality and irrefutable evidence for that position. Some people wonder, well, what's under the Earth? Well, this model better or at least as well accurately describes how the what's under it. It at least as good as every other explanation ever, empirically proven. This model also is equally as good at celestial navigation as every other flat Earth model, or better than every other flat Earth model ever presented by any flat earther. It explains gravity better or as well as every other flat Earth model. So I know you're anxious. I know. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the best flat Earth model ever. There it is. I know. Shock, in awe, and this is amazing breakthrough in flare science. Now, just for reference, this does just as well at celestial navigation as every other flat Earth model that has ever been offered. This accurately describes the flat Earth in relation to the rest of the cosmos, as well as the empirical evidence for all other flat Earth models has ever provided. This explains what's beyond 60 degrees south latitude better, or well, at least as well as every other flat Earth model ever has. Some will claim, though, that this has a flaw in that it does not have a dome firmament, as some do. Well, in this one, it just like in reality, you can't identify it. It's not. You can't see it. You can't identify. This is also doesn't reflect radar. So just exactly the same as the flat earthers that do say there is a dome. There is as much of a dome here as there is evidence for how much dome they have ever provided evidence for. So both domers and non-domer flat earthers should be happy at this model of the flat Earth, the most accurate ever. Now, if you think, flat earthers watching this, if you think that I'm being sarcastic, I am not being sarcastic. I am not being cynical. This does have as much empirical evidence backing it as every other flat Earth model. Some of you might suggest that I am strawmanning your model, and I would like to offer an apology should you show that I'm strawmanning your model. Just send me the accurate model, and I will do a retraction video to this video. All that you need to do is send me the accurate model of flat Earth. Of course, it goes without saying, you would include the evidence, the empirical evidence for your flat Earth model. That's better than this one, more accurate than this one, that describes natural phenomena better than this one. Then I will do a retraction video. You may send that to mctoon@mctoon.net. You could find me on Facebook, Michael Toon. You could find me on Discord, Links to all of those are on my website at mctoon.net. So I do look forward to any possibility of being corrected on this, flat earthers. I do humbly, I will, not now, but if you do provide the actual, empirical evidence that's been, confirmed with experiment, it goes without saying, that is better. That better describes flat earth than this, then I will definitely retract this whole video. Do a whole video dedicated. I'll in fact, it'll be twice as long as this video. You just need to provide the evidence. Lacking that though, this is the best flat earth model that exists. So I thank you from the bottom of my pizza loving heart for this opportunity to present the best flat earth model ever. Now, are there any flat earthers in the chat that maybe have a better, maybe take umbrage with this particular model that I have presented so far? Let me get it there. Yes, there it is. There's the live chat along with. So there, any flat earthers in the chat maybe are like, hey, that's not it for me. I need you to fix that. Send it to me. mctoon at mctoon.net. I'm ready. I'm ready. I can't, but I have to be honest though. I can't strawman your model if you haven't given me the model to strawman, right? I'm going to need the actual model. In order for you to say that I'm strawmanning it, you have to, send the correct one. So now I have found a couple other versions of this model that are they're equally valid. So here's just as valid, completely as valid as every other flat earth model ever presented, has just as much empirical evidence backing it right there. Again, umbrage should be taken if you think it's wrong. Umbrage away and correct me by sending the accurate flat earth model. This model represents the size positions of land masses better or just as well as every other flat earth model ever. Another one here. Again, these are all equally good. There's one. This one's pretty good. I mean, maybe there's some issues with the shorelines being a little bit of a sharp drop off. Little things like that never bothered anyone, right? But yeah, you jump off the cliff, go for a little swim off the cheese land shoreline there. There you go. This one's pretty good. Somebody's taking a bite out of this one, but maybe there's multiple flat earth pizzas in the cosmos, and this is one that has been some extra large lizard person has gotten a little peckish, and I thought that I need to eat me some flat earth pizza. So anyway, I'm on top chat, says, all right, I'll fix that. Live chat is fixed. There it is. I've got a few more that are also equally valid, that kind of depart from this version of it, but again are equally valid. This one here, it's got the turtle under, just one turtle. Obviously there's turtles all the way down, and there's the elephants didn't make this particular model, but yeah, it's pretty good. It's a little curvy, not quite so flatty. So I guess there may be some umbrage taken at the curviness shown here. So I don't know. Again, feel free to correct me with the correct model. Another one here. This one's nice. Again, is just a lot of empirical evidence, or just as much empirical evidence for this one. They get weirder. Again, there may be different flat earths in the cosmos, and so this is a different one maybe. With the turtle is like trying to get away. He's like, that's enough of this. And then this one, yeah, this is the Siamese turtle. flat Earth model, a popular one, I'm told. So, yeah, that's a cute one. You like that little Siamese model there? So yeah, good for that. Stringer News 1 says, thank Titicaca, it's Thunes Day. Stringer News 1 again says, question, what's the rim velocity of this flat Earth? Well, we will get into some of that kind of stuff later. And then MK Ultra says, flat Earth's becoming real cheesy. Oh, I suppose I did present that a little bit cheesily, didn't I? Randomly Epic says, I always knew there'd come a day when we'd defeat Flat Earth. I didn't expect it to be so sad, though. I missed the derp. Have they all run away? Well, this was a last minute stream. I'm like, you know what? I've been sitting on this Flat Earth model for a little while, and I don't want to hog it. I want to share it with the world. So, there it is. I'll put this one is my preferred one. So, let's see. Sava says stream image keeps freezing, though I still get sound for some reason. Is anybody else having it freeze? I could do this the whole time so that you can see whether or not it's freezing. So Tommy Gronwald says, so all my work for nothing then. MC Toon, all the models I've tried to make work, only to be presented with the newest, most updated one. Guess I've got to start all over again. Well, no need. This is it. This is better or as good as all other flat Earth models ever presented. It just as accurately determines the distances between points on the surface of the Earth. So Dirth wants to know if he can license this one for his app. Well, it is just as accurate as his app. That is to say, it's a completely, well, I won't say, you know it. It's just as accurate. What AI art program did you use for... For shame, this is a photograph of the flat Earth taken from far away. You silly kid. Actually, the other, oh my gosh, the flat earthers, they are gullible and or they like to lie. So let's see here. I grabbed one the other day. There it is. Let's see here. There it is. This one here. This is amazing. Look at this lie. I'll read it to you. It says, hey, Elon, can you confirm, quote, data leak at Elon Musk and NASA. This photo and another 11 photos are said to be from one of Elon's SpaceX satellites. These photos were not encrypted during transmission. The moon to the left and sun to the right. So this was a tweet yesterday, a tweet from a flat earther, best I can tell, seriously questioning if this was an actual photograph taken by a satellite. That's how desperate the flat earthers are. That's how eager they are to lie. This has been a picture that's been around for a long time, a diagram. Of course, it's not. I mean, I suspect that the first person that made this did it sarcastically, right? But now flat earthers have taken it up and they're unable to identify sarcasm and they're just eager to believe any old lie that's sent out there. And so, yeah, this guy was like, yeah, this he thought was legit. So, all right, I gotta crack a tab here. So I don't know, that's Lies Flurfs Tell. Can you guess the name of the folder that this is in? It's in, yeah, Lies Flurfs Tell. So let's look at let's look at a couple more while we're here. This one here. Dirth does this same type of thing here. Original NASA photo of Mars. See that? And then here in Bulgaria, right? So the question, of course, is where on the NASA website can we find this one? Nowhere. But a flat earther will look at this, meme and say, "Oh, that's proof." To an idiot, this is proof. They would not have the reasonable expectation of saying, "Let's go find this on NASA's website." All right, that's how easy they are to be fooled. So let's see here. This is a good one. Some of these, some of these are so dumb. You think that somebody made this, a Glober made this, laughing that the idea that a flat earther might buy it and then repeat it. So this is you see Polaris at the top, and those three observatories in Australia, Chile, and South Africa. None of those observatories can see Polaris. None of them. But a flat earther will post this thinking that this is proof of flat earth. How? How can you be that dumb? None of those, you don't see Polaris south of the equator, except for, a little bit if you're especially at higher elevation. And of course, Polaris isn't at the dead center. It's a bit over half a degree off. So you would expect it on a globe to be visible the same amount if it's the right time of day, right time of year, right? So it is about 40 arc seconds off of the center. So when it's the right time of day and right time of year, it needs to be nighttime, 40 nautical miles south of the equator, you could just see the edge of a Polaris sticking out above the horizon just for a moment. And if you're at high elevation, you'd see it a little bit farther. That's it. None of these places can see Polaris. You dumb flat earthers. You're so gullible. This one has been in there for a while, but guess what? I mean, this is the one I took dearth up on, and of course this one actually says Ireland / Devon Island, Canada. So this is not the one that Dearth saw, because Dearth said Devon Island, Greenland. Devon Island is in Canada. But I don't know why it says both Ireland and Devon Island. It is Ireland. It is not Devon Island. A weird thing for that. But this is definitely a lie. That is definitely the Burren in Ireland. It is not anywhere on NASA's website, that on the right. Nowhere at all. Let's see what else I got here. They do like to lie. Let's see. There it is. Here's a good one. This is Dearth again. It looks like, I don't know. Might not be Dearth. Official NASA photo of Earth 2012. I don't know the source of that particular photo or not. But this shows simply that flat earthers don't understand the one thing that they talk about constantly, perspective. So let me see here. I have a couple photographs here. Let's see. Is this the correct folder? Oh, it's not. I don't think it's the right folder. Oh, there it is. Yep, this is it. So there it is. The same soccer ball. One looks, you only see a little bit of it, and one you see more of it. How could that be? It's based on how close you are. That's perspective. So right here, when you're somewhat close to the Earth, you're not going to see 180 degrees around the perimeter there. So I don't know. Sucks to be you, flat earthers. Anyway, back to your best model ever. There it is. Let me see. We've got battle against misinformation. Maybe there's some umbrage being taken here. It says, Toon, stop strawmanning the Flurf dirt pizza. There's no anchovies or pineapple on it. The sun should be on the bottom and the warm moonlight on top. Ion says he wants to see the soccer ball photo recreated with the snout of a dog for the cuteness factor. That's a good idea. I can probably do that if I can get my dog to sit still. She doesn't sit still, but there you go. Now, I haven't received an email. I haven't received I haven't seen anything from any flat earthers, any in the chat that are like, hey, well, you're getting it wrong. Here's the right one. Nobody. So I thought, what if I went, I've never gone live on Facebook. What if I went live on Facebook and asked, because certainly the Facebook flirts, they're the most woke of all the flirts, aren't they? What if I went there and asked for, for them to provide a proper, so I don't straw man. I don't want to straw man. So let's see here. So I'll just pop over on here and I'll hit go live. I've never done it before. I'm learning with you how it works. So there it is. Ooh, it looks like it's going. So if you're on Facebook, you can and I can share screen. There it is. I'm going to share this. All right. Looks like, yep, that's being shared. Trying to share it. All right. Am I live? I don't think I'm live yet. I don't know. Oh, nope, not yet. Hold on. Webcam. Yep, there it is. Okay. Oh, and I can do streaming software. Maybe I'll set it up to do that. So here we go. Add a title. Add a title. This is it. You're learning with me. Where do I add the title? Where is it on here? I don't see it on here. Oh. Where does it go now? Go live. Connect to video. There it is. All right. Best flat earth model. There it is. All right. Going live. So if you're on Facebook, you could jump over and you can go live there. So maybe I can get the I don't know if there'll be a chat. It's starting it. It's just going. We're ready. This is new. All right. I'm live now. Well, welcome everybody on Facebook. I am also live on YouTube at the moment. I am here to present the best flat earth model ever. And here it is. I think you see it. I hope you see it. It is this pizza here. One thing that flat earthers have said is that sometimes I strawman the flat earth, and I don't want to do that. I want to be sure that I always use the best and most accurate information for flat earth. So if I'm getting it wrong, I do want to definitely get it right. So if you would please correct me on anything I get wrong here. So I'm not, so on Facebook, Judy, I'm not MC Toon. I'm Michael Toon on Facebook. So there you go. So it's working, says Victoria Payne. Okay, so do you just see the pizza there, the model, the best model ever, or do you say you don't? I don't think you see me. So let's see. There it is. Oh, my live video was ended. That was wrong. That was wrong. So I stopped sharing my screen. So that was it. It was that's what my mistake was. All right. I'm gonna start over. Bring your best flat earth model. So yeah, when I thought, well, I want to stop sharing the screen, it actually stopped the entire live. So there's two of them, 2 live streams that will be on my channel there. Oh, there it is. Okay. So now we have my live video again. Welcome everybody. I am searching for the best flat earth model. The best one that exists. All I've seen is, well, nothing. I've not been given anything. I've posted pictures on my Facebook of pizzas. with land masses on them. And that's the best I've ever seen. So someday I wish that a flat earther could present me the actual correct model so that I no longer have to be concerned about being accused of straw manning. So anyway, that's it. So I'm just looking for it. I'm looking for the best flat earth model. You know what I can do? I can probably post a picture of it in the chat. So people I'm for those on Facebook, I am also currently live streaming on YouTube as well. So there it is. Oh no, that didn't work. I don't think I can post a picture in there. So anyway, flat earthers, people of do you have a better model? So Judy sees me on the Book of Faces, but won't comment from your personal account. Do be careful if you're going on Facebook, because flat earthers can be extremely vile. And if they'll look at your Facebook profile and they'll start messaging people. They'll start they'll try to contact your employer. I know this because they've done it to me. Flat earther found the reported me to HR. Of course, my employer knows full well what I do and agrees that the Earth is a globe. I don't know why a flat earther would think that somebody's employer would have an issue, but that's funny. So anyway, yeah, PJCnet is in the chat. PJCnet, don't you have a model? I mean, this is the dirt pizza's your best yet. MK Ultra says next conspiracy, Pizza the Hut Earth. Yeah, what are you gonna do, Flatties? I keep posting on Facebook. Just send me the the right one. I don't want to straw man the flat Earth. You just need to send. How do we know the distance between points on the surface of flat Earth? What is the dome made of? If you think there's a dome, what's it made of? Who discovered it? How high is it? What's it made of? What's on the other side, and how was it determined what's on the other side? You know what? I think we should do a little bit of math. And the one thing that is pretty consistent with flat earthers is they don't want to talk about flat Earth. You say, well, yeah, let's how about you tell me, give me the scientific evidence for flat Earth, and then all they ever want to do is talk about the globe. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take your idea. I'm going to test flat Earth. That's, any idea should be able to stand up to scientific scrutiny. So I've got another copy of the Dirt Pizza here, another version of it, right? And so one thing, if you look on this, it has a little legend. Now the legend is not a scale, but it does say that there are 60 nautical miles per degree. That's what it says on here, 60 nautical miles per degree. So we can use that. It's on you call it a map. It's a time chart. So, and yeah, this Dirt Pizza lacks pineapple. Sorry, those that want it. So what we do know from the most popular flat Earth map, equally as accurate as the Dirt Pizza map model that I've put out there, we do know that from 90 degrees north latitude to 89 degrees north latitude, there is 60 nautical miles. And between each line of latitude, not according to me, according to flat earthers' favorite map, there's 60 nautical miles between each of those degrees. So we can easily use that information, which is on your claimed map, to determine the radius of the equator, for example, because the equator is 90 degrees from the North Pole, the center of your Dirt Pizza. So 90 degrees, and there's 60 nautical miles per degree. This is your model. I'm just testing your model. 90 degrees times 60 nautical miles, right? That's how far it is. It has to be. It's on your stinking map. So how many nautical miles is that? Let's do that. 60 times 90. 5,400 nautical miles. 5,400 nautical miles. Now, we also know, there's another way to do that. We also know that the length of the meter was initially defined by the distance from the North Pole to the equator. A fact of science that a lot of people might not be aware of. So that was defined as 10,000 kilometers. Whatever that distance is, we're going to call it 10,000 kilometers. How many meters is that? Well, how many meters are in a kilometer? There's 1,000. So that's 10 million meters, right? Metric system's a little easier than other systems. So we've also got 10 million meters or 10,000 kilometers is that same distance there. So we know a couple things about it that are necessary. So now, given that, it is literally elementary school math to do the circumference of a circle. Maybe some people waited until middle school, but it's really not that difficult. What's the formula for the circumference of a circle? It's 2 pi r or pi d. So we know the radius is 5,400 nautical miles or 10,000 kilometers. We just multiply by pi and then multiply by 2, right? 2 times and pi times, giving, all right, you ready for this? 33,929 nautical miles. Or it's going to be you might recognize the number when we do the work. Fee is what you're looking for. When we do the circumference of the equator in kilometers, 6, 2. Is the fee? Do you see fee yet? 832. All right, right there. Now you know this is science, so I mean, what are we doing in miles? But for some people we want miles, so we'll do miles. So, let's see. Now I know what you're thinking. We've got a problem already because the length of the equator might not be that. But anyway, in miles, we've got 39. Anybody correct me on or check me on this? 39,042 miles. So this is flat Earth circumference of the equator. All right. Now, when I said you might have seen a problem with this, a side effect on a globe of defining on a globe 10,000 kilometers from the North Pole to the equator, a side effect of that is that the circumference of it is of a globe is 40,000 kilometers, but we get 62,000, so we have a little bit of a discrepancy. The globe says that there's 40,000 kilometers around the circumference of the equator, and Flat Earth says there must be. You don't have a choice on this. 62,832 kilometers. They don't match. Which one matches reality? The Flat Earthers, this isn't that difficult to test. Find somebody at the equator, ask them to measure out roughly. You could do it roughly. These numbers are large enough in difference to roughly travel some distance along the equator and get there, the difference in longitude, and then multiply by the necessary amount to get the circumference. I know what your result's going to be, and you won't like it, so you won't do it. So anyway, now, it gets worse for you, though, flatties. So what is the circumference now of things south of the equator on this, or the dirt pizza? It gets to be significantly easier to test, right? Because Melbourne, Australia is somewhere around 38 degrees south latitude. So let's do the same for 38 degrees south latitude. What is the circumference of 38 degrees south latitude on flat Earth? The necessary, because the best model that anyone has ever provided is this one, which is equally as good as the dirt pizza. But this does say, this one at least has a legend saying that it's 60 nautical miles per degree. So we can use that. Your best model has that at least. So we can find out. So 68 degrees south of the equator is 90 plus 68 total. So total degrees. And so all we need, we add them up, we get 128, right? 128 degrees. So then we multiply that by 60, giving us 7,680 nautical miles. That's the radius at 38 degrees south latitude. And so then we can, multiply by 2 and multiply by pi. And that gives us a circumference on flat Earth necessary of 48,255 nautical miles. Now, I'll convert that into kilometers and miles for you. Right, we got length, nautical miles, to miles, 55,530, 531. Then we'll do one more. The last one is going to be the ramifications you're going to love. So any flat earthers in, no, I don't see any flat earthers correcting me yet on Facebook. All right. Kilometers, we got 89,000. 368 kilometers. Now, there's the answer. 89,000 kilometers is the circumference of 38 degrees south latitude. So here's the way that any interested flat earther, any flat earther that's interested in the truth, could test their flat earth. You find a portion near 38 degrees south latitude. Many people live in the vicinity. Many roads have been built in the vicinity. And you say, well, we're going to drive and measure the distance of between 1 degree of longitude, right? Which would be 360th of the entire circumference, or a portion of it. Maybe just do 15 arc minutes, or of that. Now the lines of longitude aren't 60 nautical miles between them, except at the equator on the globe. On flat Earth and the globe, they're different based on different latitudes. So on flat Earth, they have to be growing as you go south of the equator. In fact, they always have to be growing. And on the globe, they're less everywhere except the equator. Equator has the most. So you could easily test your hypothesis that the Earth is flat by finding a section that is mostly east-west. Doesn't have to be perfect, because the difference for the globe is drastic, right? It has to be the largest diameter, or largest circumference on the globe is 39,000 miles. This is much more than twice that. Much more than twice that. So if you're off by a factor of 2 or more, then flat Earth is wrong. Test it for yourselves, flat earthers. I bet you won't. So there it is. If you need help doing this, you divide by 360. That'll tell you how many between each degree longitude. If you have a smartphone, you can get your GPS coordinates. It's not that difficult. You can do this. This is a test you can do, flatties. So, and of course, you will reject if a globe earther does it. You are the only people that could do this, because if a globe earther does it, You know what the result's going to be. All right, so now we're going to go to the final one. This is going to be great. Now, not all flat earthers are dome earthers, but a large number of them are, especially the religifleurs. So here's your idea again. The dome. Have you ever seen a flat earther post the video of the encyclopedia that's talking about the heights of the dome in Antarctica? Of course, intelligent people know that a dome is a word for a non-pointy mountain. It's a tall hill. It's a geological feature. That's what they're talking about for the elevation of those domes. And they're not talking about where the actual dome came down. But definitely those flat earthers think that there's a dome over this and that it comes down to the edges somehow. Lots of flat earthers have pictures of domes where it comes down to the edge. So here is the test, flat earthers. Now, those people also claim that the stars are embedded in the dome and that the dome is circling above us. There are some consequences to those claims. There are some consequences. But so first, we're going to just get the circumference of that. So what's the circumference of 90 degrees south latitude? Well, it's 180 degrees from the North Pole. So that's a nice and easy one. 180 multiplied by 60 gives us 10,080. 10,000, not 80. Yeah, 10,800 nautical miles from the North Pole to where the dome rests on the edge of the dirt pizza. Now we can get the circumference of that in nautical miles, multiply by 2, multiply by pi, 67,858 nautical miles, right? So now we convert nautical miles to, you ready for this? No, this is going to be great. Nautical miles to kilometers. No, I'll do miles first because I did that first last time. There you go. 78,090. That's a big one. And now we'll do the next step for 2 kilometers. Wait, do you know where I'm going with this? This is gonna be this is something. So miles to kilometers, we get 125,674. So there you go at the bottom. There it is. The rate in miles, because flat earthers always talk about miles. The circumference of the where the dome sits down for the dome earthers is 78,000 miles. Now, in one day, that dome must rotate 1 full revolution. Of course, yes, don't forget the dome flexes due to convection currents or something. This is a flexible dome. How does the dome that is 78,000 miles in circumference flex? I don't know, some sort of rubber that's super strong that can hold up a whole bunch of stuff. And they also say there's water, that the dome holds up water. Man, that's got to be a pretty serious structure. I don't know how that it could flex. But anyway, so we've got 78,000 miles in circumference, and it must rotate once a day. So what does that mean? That means that the edge of the dome must travel that in 24 hours. So you've got 78,000 miles in 24 hours. So what do? We divide by 24 and we get the necessary rotational speed, the linear speed. This is, flat earthers talk about rotation in miles per hour. So the dome must rotate at its base 3,254,000 miles an hour at the base. That's how fast it must be rotating. All of the mass of the dome must be resting down on it. Plus, the waters above must be resting down on it as well. What kind of bearings or lubricant does the dome have to have that incredible amount of mass pressing down on it, holding up the water and moving at 3,254 miles an hour? How is that possible, flat earthers? Your model. You have the burden to explain how it's possible. So, but we do have a guest in the Facebook live chat that says something different than the dome. He says that the Trans-Antarctic Mountains is the wall that keeps the atmosphere in. How high are these mountains? Well, there is still a bit of atmosphere at 100 kilometers high or 62 miles high. So how high are these mountains? And who went to these mountains and discovered them and knows that they're there to return to us the information about these Trans-Antarctic Mountains that you definitely are there, Matthew Element, because you said so. You said so, therefore they must be there. But I'm gonna doubt. I'm gonna press X to doubt on that, Matthew Element. Could you please provide evidence for that? The name of the person or the party that discovered it, when they did, if it was recent, of course, they'd have photographs of it. How did they measure the height of it to know that it's high enough to hold in the atmosphere? Obvious questions that any person would definitely ask. So FTFE says, for 5 pounds, the dome is made of the same thing as the brains of flat earthers. Nothing. Matthew Element says that Byrd traveled there. He's talking about Admiral Byrd, I suppose. Well, could you show us the documentation that Byrd brought back of the Trans-Antarctic Mountains being high enough to hold back the atmosphere of the Earth? They'd have to be definitely in the vicinity of 100 kilometers tall. I don't know. I'd expect you could see that from pretty far away, too. I mean, certainly... I don't know. Do you think you could see 100-kilometer tall structure from the southern tip of South America? I don't know. Eric Burns says, I hope the dome isn't made out of carbon fiber if there's water above it. Definitely. I'm amazed that this structure is that strong that it can hold back all of the stuff, yet still not reflect light and not reflect radar at all, unless it's cold near you. That's the only time apparently that it will actually reflect light if you're really near it. And what do I mean by that? Well, let me, they sometimes like to show these sundogs. But the problem with sundogs is that now the dome shrunk right here. I mean, look at this. The dome is, if you're on Facebook, I'm sorry, you're going to have to, I don't know how to share it yet. Just the screen. The dome is in front of the mountains there. So, and in fact, the photographer is outside the dome. It looks like they're far enough away that there's just a little dome right there. The sun's inside it, just, like a mile away from where the observer is. It's pretty amazing that the dome is right there. So this is when, every once in a while, when it's super cold, coincidentally, when there's ice crystals in the air, cold enough to have ice crystals in the air, coincidentally only, you can then see light reflecting off the dome. So anyway, all right, Matthew Element, I buddy, you didn't, all you said was bird travel there. So, I mean, you could email me the evidence, mctune@mctune.net, pictures or measurements. How do they measure it? Stuff like that. So, all right. Anyway, flat earthers of Facebook, nothing yet. So, I'm going to go on my my scavenger hunt elsewhere. Facebook, thank you for popping in. to the video. I will see Facebook guys later. Other people, you know, I should expand my search. I should definitely expand my search for a better flat Earth model than this. I just want to make sure I'm not straw manning. So, you know, where could I go to find a better, you know, evidence for flat Earth than, you know, maybe a Discord server that is dedicated to flat Earth? That'd be cool, right? Of course, they'll have it. So let's see here. Let's get. Oh, that's not it. So I'll pull up Discord, of course. So that's not it. That's not it. I have a Discord scene. So I just need to find it here. Window capture. There it is not. It's messed up. OBS messes things up sometimes, so like every once in a while you got to go and make a new capture because it's the wrong size. Anyway, it's all good. I'll pop it in here quick. This is, you know, because I'm a I can't even finish a sentence saying that I'm a professional. So anyway, all right, we've got Discord. All right, window capture, and then we go to Discord. There it is. Okay. So I'm gonna go hunting for it in Earth is Life sent me something. All right, just a second. Okay. Let's see, the asylum. Is anybody in the asylum? Looks like nobody's in the asylum. What Discord server is going to have the most knowledgeable and smartest of all flat earthers? I know I say that with sarcasm. Smart flat earthers. It's cute. But yeah, I mean, it's relative, right? The smartest of the flat earthers exists. It's like saying the, you know, if some people don't like it if I say the tallest midget, so I'm not going to say the tallest midget. So anyway, it would be like that if I were to say that. The smartest flat earthers like that, but nobody's in the asylum right now. Well, at least in the Discord server. I think the orderlies have locked them up for the evening. We do have, oh, look at this. We do have over here on Medicinal Mass Media. What do you think? Should I pop into Medicinal Mass Media and say hi? So let's see here. I think that's a good spot. There it is. I'll pop in. We'll see if any of them have anything.
Yeah, it's like we can only
Yeah, we can just shoot out
2D. We can't do 3D.
So no, I was just wondering, like, yeah, if we threw up, you know, you throw up a handful of snow, it's not going to make that snowflake pattern just because of sound, right?
He's not yelling.
I don't think so.
Weird.
I'd have to watch the video again on how they're created, but no, I think it's like you said.
But if you put it on, yeah, but if you put it on like a drum, a flat drum, it'll. That was a screen.
Hey, D-Mock, how you doing?
Hey.
The fuck? A while to join.
I'm
say D-Mock. What now?
I'm on a scavenger hunt.
Glober now, dude. D-Mock's a Glober. Just prepare yourself.
You're on a scavenger hunt. What's that for? What are you doing?
I'm on a scavenger hunt for the best flat Earth model that exists. And I found the best one so far. I posted it in the chat there. That is the best flat Earth model so far. It accurately, or just as accurately as all other flat Earth models, is able to give you distances across the surface of flat Earth. It is equally as good at doing celestial navigation as all other flat Earth models. So anyway, I was just looking if does anybody have a better flat Earth model than this one, more accurate than this one. And I don't want a straw man, so I'm looking for the best flat Earth model.
That one's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean it's got stars. If you're hungry, you get a little peckish, you can have a nibble.
It looks like it has pineapple.
Yeah, pineapple. I like pineapple on pizza. Some people don't. I mean, maybe
Yeah,
we could.
yeah.
Well, I think the ice wall is more appropriate for global warming.
I don't think you can make a. I don't think they can mimic what they think they can mimic.
I see one mistake in this one. It has curved water.
It is a little curved, right? So maybe that's a little inaccuracy in it. Yeah, I'll take that under consideration. Yeah.
I thought that was you.
I wouldn't go with any model any dude made.
All right, so you're ignorant. Okay, got it. That's fine.
I thought that was you, Toon. I was listening to another video and I heard your voice and I thought, is a video coming through my video?
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize you was in the room. So, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Oh my.
Yeah, I'd have to talk to the people who made that model.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to tell them how it doesn't work and why that doesn't make sense.
Well, what doesn't work about it?
I don't know.
Well,
have they been everywhere?
Actually,
have they seen everything to map everything? How would they map? Hold on a minute. I'll be done in 2 seconds. How would they go about mapping something that I declare that they need to map and tell me the steps of doing so?
Well, I'm not asking for they. I'm asking for you. What flat Earth model do you have that's wrong? And if I'm wrong on this, then just correct me.
Reality. Yeah. Outside.
Yeah. So you agree with it then? You think this is as accurate as any other flat Earth model?
No, I don't think that's anything. I think it's dog shit. I said outside's my model.
And that's not a model. That's just where
no,
that's
outside.
Where they send you when you yell too much.
Reality. Right. No model can fit reality.
Yeah, but you can't do you can't do science without a model. So, I mean, you're dismissing yourself from science.
What science helping you do? Science doesn't do nothing. Why would I need to do science? You don't even know
exactly.
What science is.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
Tell me what scientist you like, the ball scientist.
Me, I like my work there. How about that?
Ball science. So what kind of orbits do you do in your scientific classroom?
None. But what I'm doing is I'm looking for a flat Earth model, and you don't have one. So obviously you're not going to help on this.
Find the globe model that fits a globe first.
Yeah. That's not what we're here for. But thank you for talking. Anyway, all right. Well, I'm done with him. He did not have a flat Earth model. Does anybody else here have a flat Earth model? If you don't, then I will continue using the flat Earth model that I've been using, which is I put two of them in here. The second one. It's okay. It's got flatter water. Right, I'll put it in again. So there, that one there.
Have you spoken to Glory? He has a concave Earth model that has a lot of CGI images.
Oh,
to go with it.
Yeah, and an interesting idea. Is Glory here, or am I gonna have to?
I thought Glory is recovering. Didn't he come back to the globe?
Recovering.
You don't know how zippers work, Dimmock.
All right. Well, I love it when Dimmock just rambles to everybody else when I got done with him. He already he waved the white flag, said that he has nothing, and dismissed him from the conversation. So, but then he keeps talking. So I don't have him listening. I'm not listening to him right now. But anyway, so.
Them stop or you'll get muted.
Who's?
Please.
You talking to Dimmock?
I don't think there's a lot of flat earthers here, Toon, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, I went over to the asylum and there were none there. I think the orderlies put them all to bed for the night.
MC2.
Yes. Somebody said my name.
Yeah, that was me. They can't deny or prove that our pizza model isn't curved at the edges because no one can go and explore Antarctica freely, remember?
Well, I've heard them say that, and then I ask why, and then they say the treaty, but then I just read the treaty, which contradicts them. So
you're not allowed to read things. You just have to assume what's in it.
Well, that is certainly what they do. Yeah. Yep.
And you're still allowed to come to Australia and measure whether or not that fits the flat Earth, and South America and South Africa.
Yeah,
they're bigger.
I have asked.
Smaller.
I've asked flat earthers for the circumference of 40 degrees south latitude. So you can't complain about Antarctica when I'm saying, hey, just 40 degrees south latitude, or even the equator. You can tell me that. You don't need to, go run away and hide from reality by refusing to provide any information about, what you believe the Earth to be, by saying Antarctic treaty, which doesn't prevent, but fine. Do the equator. What's the circumference of the equator? No answer. All right. Well, I see Dan the Waterman is here not talking.
Dan was talking earlier. He's pretty reasonable when I was here.
Oh, he's not having a manic attack right now.
No, Dan was good today. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, there he's posting right now his pictures from his private collection. So Dan, you can help me out. I don't want to straw man the flat Earth, but so far this is the best the best flat Earth model I've ever seen. It does celestial navigation as well as all the other flat Earth models. It gets distances.
Yeah. Hold on just a minute, Toon. D-Mock, Toon has you muted. He can't hear you. You continuing to go on. It's not doing any good.
Hey, if he has a model and he would like to correct me, I'm open to be corrected. So, and just D-Mock, if just maybe comment in the chat that you're ready to inform me of the correct flat Earth model. So, but Dan the Waterman has this looks like that is as good of a flat Earth model as anybody has ever presented. Dan the Waterman right there has that one, so that's cute. All right. This one here, this on the history of E equals MC squared from Alan. That's I debated Alan on Jeranism on special relativity.
It's happening and Earth Awakenings right now.
Oh, it's happening right now. Okay. Awesome. That's why they're not in the Asylum server. Okay. All right. And so Do of the Man-Ooted says this is an event where they still won't have an explanation for a sunset, but they think they can unravel reality, a relativity. Yes, that is. Yeah. If you can't explain a sunset, then I think relativity is a bit beyond your scope. So, Asylum. Dan says Asylum has been dead for a month. All right. Well. Yeah. Okay. But Dan, are you happy? I just want to know, Dan. To get your thumbs up on this model that I've presented of flat Earth. If it's not correct, please do send the right one. Extra J says it's my understanding that DMOC cannot post in open chat on there. Well, okay. Anyway, all right. Well, Dan, you could just pop in right now or not, but okay. Well, I will. I'll say thank you, and obviously everybody's over there imagining that they understand relativity. With Alan, but
hey, I'll be honest with you, Toots.
Toots, all right. Yeah.
I would like to figure out a way to befriend you. I appreciate your efforts. I got problems with Flat Earth too. I wish we could come together. Maybe this is the platform where we might do some stuff together with the same intent, is to clean up crap, because there is a lot of crap. And I'd like you to hear my assessment of that. I'd like you to know that I think about half of what flat earthers say is bullshit. And that leaves me with about half left. And of that 50%, half of that's explainable. So I'm left now with 25%. And I'll take a coin toss there.
Yeah.
So my suggestion is I may be only 12.5% worth of shit. But that isn't as bad as it sounds. I'm used to being a Macintosh guy. I'm used to being 1 in 10. I'm used to being a minority. It doesn't freak me out that much.
I'm talking to you on a Mac.
So you're a flip flopper then?
What? Hey, if he's looking at it honestly, then good. I'm all for it, Dan.
Can you unblock Dem? Can you just, with Dem's talking, we can control him. If you just turn
all right,
him up a little
all right.
bit.
Well, I'll have a listen for a bit.
Just turn him up a little. Dem, be good, all right?
I can hear him now.
Short burst.
I never said anything bad.
I know, but you were muted the whole time. He wasn't listening.
I know that. Why are you telling me?
But we were stuck while he's ignoring you. We had to listen to you go. Now just go while we're listening.
I spoke when he was done each time. Shut up. So now, the flat earth doesn't end, right? So where your globe model has an edge and ends a radius, the flat earth doesn't do that ever. So you can't model that.
How did you determine
Hold
that?
on. I'll be done in 5 seconds. And there are no stars.
Holding on nothing.
So if there are stars in the flat earth model, it's wrong. If they show you an edge, it's wrong. Go ahead.
All right, excellent. I would love to fix my model. I just need the evidence for it then.
That's it.
That would make you retarded. You just said you could see a fucking model that never ended. How would that be possible? You tell me.
No, I just
said. So then why are you going to claim that when that's an unfalsifiable claim?
That's reality, you fucking idiot.
It's not reality.
It's only reality if you have evidence for it. If you don't have evidence for it, it's a religious belief.
Go find the edge.
Yes.
There is no edge you can find. That means it never ends.
Not my claim. Your claim.
Go ahead.
You have the burden.
I claim.
Yeah, you claim it continues and it's flat forever.
You claim you have an edge. Find it for me real quick.
I
He's trying to moderate morons. Shut up.
I don't claim an edge. I just say that the picture I have of the flat Earth model is as good as all of the other flat Earth models I've ever seen.
I've never seen a globe model yet. So why do you keep asking for something you ain't produced?
It's out there. I'd be glad to give it to you on a different time.
Is it close and local?
Is what close and local?
Your sun and moon.
No.
No. How do you demonstrate 93,238,000 to not be close and local in a lab or a classroom?
Balls out of your mouth, Denmark.
In a lab, you don't measure somebody.
Yeah, how
something
do you demonstrate not close and local?
You don't do it in a lab. Number one.
Where do you do it at?
You do it by measuring the distance. There's no lab involved.
That's how you demonstrate your model is a far model and not close and local by guessing and not doing shit.
No, not by guessing, by going and measuring it, by actually doing
Where are your balls at to represent your balls?
All right. Well, thank you, Demok.
So you don't have a...
No, all right. So Demok immediately left his claim about the I'm not listening to him anymore, by the way. Immediately left his claim.
That was nice of you to try. That was.
Oh, you're ruining the stream, D-Mock. You're gonna get muted, man.
So
you're ruining the stream. You should get muted now, basically.
Yeah, Dem, you gotta shut up, Dem. Dem, just take your shots. Take your shots and step back, dude. Step the fuck back.
All right, then you're gonna get muted. Let's vote mute D-Mock. All right, yeah. Everyone.
I have a flat Earth model. I just put my flat Earth model in the back chat. It's a multi-dome universe. multi-dome verse. It explains the personal dome of vision, the azimuthal grid of vision, the perspective. What else was there?
In the where'd you put it? In the back chat?
Yeah.
I'm looking in the open chat. Is it somewhere else?
Okay, I put it in the wrong chat. Sorry, I've come on the wrong device.
Okay. Anyway, so if just respond briefly to Democ. Democ claimed that it keeps going, and so I did the reasonable thing. I said, well, just need the evidence for that. So, all right.
It was a good response, though. Had he stopped there, we'd still be in a good conversation.
Yeah. If he would have had a back and forth on his particular claim, it would have been good. But he didn't want to. Okay, so this one here, the multiverse, the multi-dome verse.
Yes.
So is there 4 domes or is there infinite domes? Is that?
Well, that's just 4 people with 4 domes, but otherwise there's really, 7 billion or however many people there are.
Well, I mean, there's more. It's got to be more than that, though, too, because cameras with no people associated to them can get, take pictures of stars, even if they're far from people.
Yeah, but each dome only exists for each person, so
or camera.
You won't see my dome when you take a photo. You'll just be in your own personal dome.
Yeah,
with your camera.
All right. Well, then of course, silly me. I'm gonna just ask for empirical backing evidence for it.
Well, it's based on. Well, hang on. I can give you another photo with a little bit of empirical information on it.
Go get it off of Shane. Go get it off of Shane.
It's basic. It's basically the sky is the same shape as the Earth, so it's a flat disc above our head.
Oh.
And then our personal dome of vision makes it all bend around, so it's kind of like a cylinder. So
wouldn't there be a lot more?
Amazing.
Wouldn't there be a lot more than 7 billion?
Well, 7.8 or whatever it is.
No, because you've got every animal that can see, unless you're going to say that their vision is different to ours to the point where they wouldn't have their dome of vision, which wouldn't.
We all know they have different vision. I mean,
yeah, but it's the light traveling, isn't it? Yeah, but obviously they've still got the range for the light to travel.
Maybe animals don't see that, and they actually see the disc above. Right, we don't know.
That's why they don't get lost.
They've never told us.
Yeah, they don't get lost after all, so they must just automatically know from vibrations. I'm guessing.
Vibrations. All right, I muted myself there.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure she's not a flatty.
Okay, you ready for me,
Dan? Yes.
So, Austin Whitsett. I mean, forget Alan and whatever they when they get there, they'll get there. I'll figure it out when they get there. But as far as like Austin's idea of, let's consider for a second, let's consider him a patriot, going across the country, caring about something, right? Give him credit for that.
Yep.
Then he comes back and he finally gets around to this NASA thing, uses the wrong words. Audit was the wrong word because it's the most audited agency there is.
Yeah.
And diversified and mystified and everything. It's a stupid plan. So I always wanted to help that, but because I know how hard it is to mobilize people. And it's impossible, as a matter of fact. So I had a good idea for him, and I just wanted you to honestly hear it. Because it's not like it's the worst idea to find out what they're doing. Hey, Rob, to find out what they're doing. But of course, the bureaucracy is a joke. I think the reason why we have these agencies today doing space travel is because it takes us in particular, 12 years to get anything off the drawing board. It has to go through a whole administration.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like process. SpaceX? Right. So you think the reason why we have things like SpaceX or Blue Origin is because the government agencies are slow and bureaucratic and
they just can't fucking do it because they're so embedded in their own crap. For instance, Artemis being a mess of Frankenstein because Congress said, fucking use the shit we paid for. Yeah. Basically is what happened.
Well, and it was billed, the space shuttle program was billed as we're learning stuff and building things that we can use in the future. So when Congress gets back to time to fund the next step, they say, well, you told us that old stuff was going to be used for the new stuff. You got to do it. I get that. That's why it's so expensive and slow.
Right. And so it's just a bureaucratic mess because it's government, right? So here's my answer to all of this, because of course I want Flat Earth to have purpose. Geez, you know. And so I thought I could help him by saying, I'm looking at the ISS because everyone always talks about the ISS as proof of stuff, and this 24-hour footage. It's really 12-hour footage. You know, half of it's blacked out.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, I remember the shuttle having infrared on it. So I'm thinking, if we had a brain, we'd petition NASA, flex our weight as the people, right? Because that's really what's wrong with US anyway. We don't try and use the system properly. So we should make a request formally instead of bitching on YouTube, right? Get shut down, which we will, because it'll have to go through the same bureaucracy. At least then I can wave around the bureaucracy, showing the futility of that program from day one. Really, to be honest, it's been very difficult to get out of the bureaucratic mess that each program and the depth of things keep creating, you know? So it is interesting to note. I was wondering what you thought of the fact that we definitely saw different shit in the infrared spectrum. And it wouldn't be a shitty request to sort of demand it. I'm trying to get people to feel robbed. I
want to make sure I understand. You would like to see an infrared camera on the ISS.
I know. I'd like to see the Americans pissed off at the program is what I'd like to see.
Okay, but I mean, you entered in this talking about something else. So,
right. Well, I'm trying to find a way to do it. I'm trying to help Austin by saying, look, you should get signatures instead of manpower. We should start participating in the United States' system that allows for change. Look, we're all at wheat stores now.
But what specific thing do you think that the American people should be upset about?
That I can show you proof today with things like STS-75, the tether incident, STS-48, where there's magically wild things. Find the mirror. I mean, these are examples of infrared peaks, and there's massive amounts. There's things out there. So
I don't know specifically what you're talking about.
Well, I did say specifically STS-45.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't
75.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know. I haven't watched those. I haven't seen what you're talking about.
You're pretty sharp, and that's a nice answer I get from.
No, I haven't seen.
I don't want to give you shit.
I haven't seen
if you
any
want to write
particular.
It down, or I could give you links, or we could watch them together.
Yeah. I mean, you could send them to me so that I can be aware of it.
I'd like to find a way to not fight with you though, because I found that I was fearful of getting involved with you because I was outclassed in your style, and it took me a while to figure out what your style was. It's like you're more like a poker player, where you're allowed to sort of bluff, and I don't feel I have that same.
Dude, I suck at poker.
I don't feel like playing your game.
I don't suck at poker, and I don't bluff.
I just do. I do think you do.
I don't bluff. When I
tell me you've never seen infrared shit in space, you're bluffing me.
Seen infrared?
Hey, share those links, Dan. Please.
You're bluffing me. Okay, I'll
but
you are fucking with me. If you say you've never heard of that shit,
Dan,
you've never heard of the tether incident,
Dan,
you're just going, yeah, okay.
Dan, send them to me in DM. If you put them in the chat here, I'll have to go grab them later, right?
Oh, it's just too hard.
No, don't send them.
75 and 48. Two numbers. And then there's, of course, Where's the Mirror, which is famous footage we should watch together, but we should watch all this together. I'd rather play with you than fight with you.
All right. I just sent you the message. So
but did you hear what I said though? I really would rather play with you than fight with you. I think we'll both get more done.
Okay. So here's what I don't know if you've seen this. You probably haven't, but somebody had mentioned something of a similar nature to, there's some incident that happened on some shuttle or ISS or something. I think it was on the ISS. I think it was Leo level Earth observer, I think, was watching something and claimed that something was amiss. And Dave McKeegan saw that and said, well, let's have a look. And so he went and he got several different views of the same thing, pieced them together to get a whole analysis. So I don't think that's the same one, but anyway, all right. So I see that's 75. All right.
But really, it's the whole light spectrum.
Bullet.
You know, it's not even a specific subject. It's like, why go black, you know, for 12 hours when you don't have to? So I got a low dollar.
What do you mean when they don't have to?
We could go straight. First of all, they could turn it towards something else. They could have a resolution that shows stars, or they could pretend the post-production nighttime stuff with pretty lights and lightning and the air glow. They could show that if it were real, but it ain't.
So why would 24 hours of it convince you when you're not convinced by 10 minutes of it?
Well, why would half the time and half the light spectrum satisfy you? And this is where we could be honest. You know, why are you satisfied when a dumb flat earther isn't?
That the Earth is a sphere, because I've personally measured it.
Okay, well, I said, why are you satisfied with half the data from a program like that?
That's not half the data. That's significantly less than half the data. That's a minuscule portion of the data. That they do so much more than just a video of the Earth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant from just one camera position is what I meant. Just one feed. Just one, what do they call that when it's all got like one category in terms of cost and fees and stuff? It's just, so in other words, for about $185, we could go put that back up there tomorrow.
$185 for what?
For an infrared camera.
You want an $185 infrared camera to be mounted,
I guess you're missing
on the
the
outside.
Point. The low dollar request is going to singe our fact that we can't make requests. We're going to prove
it's not a low dollar request, Dan. It's significantly more expensive to do things. Again, you to your point, it's a bureaucracy. So it's got to go through 75 meetings just to have somebody say, yeah, let's think about doing it. I don't work.
But there's no cost to this one. It's not expensive.
Oh, super expensive. I don't work in a company where there's massive quantities of meetings, but I have worked with companies. I did some contracting work for State Farm Insurance. We went week after week after week with different levels of management. We'd go to somebody, they'd say, hey, that sounds great. I'll present this to my manager. 2 days later, they're like, hey, that works good. Can you fly in to Bloomington, Illinois to have another meeting on this with my manager? Okay, we fly out there. It's not a free flight. We bill that to them. Right? And then we meet with that guy, and that guy's like, hey, this is a good idea. I'll suggest it to my manager. We did that for a couple years. We started working on it. We were sending them billable hours. They're paying billable hours. We never got approval. In the end, all of our billable hours were paid, and they're like, hey, that was a good idea. We shelved it. We're like, I don't care. You paid us. Super. That's just a company. The government's worse. So it's not $195. It's thousands of dollars to have the first meeting.
I understand. It's just old technology. I just want you to look at it that way.
Yeah, for an infrared to point at the Earth at nighttime.
No, not at the Earth. Just let it be where it's pointed now. Just out there. They don't. You're pretending that they point that thing. Don't pretend they point that thing, because you'll get me mad. They could do that too.
Don't they clamp it onto the outside somewhere? Is it right?
I don't know, man. I've heard of a PTZ camera, pan, tilt, zoom.
Okay,
it's pretty common. Pretty common.
And then who controls it, and how does that protocol set up?
Oh, don't pretend it's hard. Here's another one I want you to watch when you get a chance. Am I supposed to be sending these to you? Are you really pretending you can't?
What I'm doing is I'm copying them, and then I'm sending them to our private chat because I don't want to. I don't want to.
I see that. Yeah, I'm sorry. I see that.
Because I mean, I'm live right now, so you know. I think.
All right. Well,
you
I
already sent
appreciate.
that
I
one.
didn't know you're live. You should say that when you come.
Oh, I mean, if you see me, there's a good chance.
Well, all right. Like I said, I don't know your game, so I'll learn. I'll learn to play with you.
I mean,
because I don't like being afraid of you.
Okay.
So
I have no intention of anybody being afraid of me.
No, you come strong, and it's not common. Someone has any, like Witsit, you're like similar to Witsit, where you actually might know what you're talking about. You know column 2, or paragraph 2, where that's not usually common. Most people don't usually read. You read.
Oh,
so
well, thank you for that.
Well, I mean, it's obvious. So you're of superior intellect, and I don't know why you've chosen flat Earth. Can you explain that? Why, it's an easy target. So why
it is. It certainly is. Why? Well, I was doing martial arts, and I was starting to get burned out. I was just training. I wasn't training. I was just teaching. So that's all I was doing. And then my partner that had done my partner for first black belt and second black belt was like, "Hey, I'm getting ready for third black belt. We should start training." And I'm like, "I can't. I'm teaching too much, and I have these other things. I need to stop before I don't like it and I never want to come back." So I stopped. But that left a little bit of a gap in there, and I've always enjoyed science, and so I would listen to lectures on YouTube. Often I'd queuing up as I'm going to bed at night, and eventually YouTube fed me some Slice Barcane videos. I'm like, what? Flat Earth? The sun could never set. That was my debunk. Right, the sun could never set, and that's an application of perspective, simple geometry, and I'm like, wait a second, my first video was a Flat Out Heroes $100,000 challenge that I knew he would never pay, but I actually did what he said. I taped together paper flight charts, and they did not lay flat. They created I had to put them on a dome in my kitchen.
I remember seeing your YouTube video on that.
Yeah. So that's how I started. I stumbled into it. I didn't choose it.
All right, cool. You're what do they call it? A formidable foe? Is that what they call it? But I wouldn't call you an enemy, because I'm starting to realize that you see, I have so little support out of flat earthers, but I started to recognize you long-termers, not normies, but you globers, like, you're committed globers. You guys are in our community. You're one of us. You don't have your own community. You're one of us.
What do you mean we don't have our own community?
Well, you're here with us.
Well, yeah, I
every day, 24 hours a day. All these people, all of them, 24/7, hundreds of them. Just to wait for a flat earther to come along, so
and
they can
pounce on them. I know. I don't know. It's a bunch of the debunkers a couple years ago said, flat Earth is done. I'm heading out. Doing other stuff. So Team Skeptic and Irish Demon and Johnny O and a handful of others. They're like, let's do some other stuff, and they do great videos. I love their stuff. Their sovereign citizen things and First Amendment auditors. They're funny, It's funny to watch somebody get pulled over for a their turn signal isn't working and turn it into a felony. It's funny. But
well, people are pretty messed up. I'd like to fix the reputation of flat earthers, just figure out what they do care about, what they can prove. And of course, NASA is still a tool for us to try and agitate people.
Yeah.
Just look at that. So again, like, I just wanted to know what you thought about the Austin thing. And like, that's the only thing I could suggest is let's use the system and try signatures instead of likes on YouTube.
But
see if
if
we
you're
can
gonna
really get anyone to
if you're gonna
fucking
try
do it.
to get somebody to sign something, it's gonna have to be something that they're gonna want. Right? I don't think the list of people that are like, yeah, I want an infrared camera in the ISS. I don't think that's a too exciting thing for a lot of people. I think most people are going to look at that, even flat earthers. You might have, I don't know if you found that yet or not, but say, well, I don't care.
Oh, I gave you 3 fine examples of some wild ass shit out there. Like just wild amounts of living, moving direct. This is without your normal UFOs, or the things that are in single directions or anything like that. Like, these aren't your normal UFOs.
So you want live stream of anomalous things. So like the fact that some of the satellites, like the GOES satellite and others, have infrared channels, you're not interested in that, right?
Just looking for live footage, not stills.
Yeah, well, I mean, live footage is a sequence of stills, right? It's just it's the frame rate.
To get technical and be a jerk,
it's the frame rate. So, when you have the Discover satellite, it's got a 10
once
minute
every
frame
10
rate.
minutes.
Yeah, that's not
going to it's not going to qualify as film.
Yeah, and it's too far away for the kind of things that you might be interested in.
All right.
Right.
So
you want something infrared on the ISS. Okay, I get it.
I know it's possible and cheap. I know that maybe if we want to practice anything in this system, we should get fucking signatures. If we're not going to get people to march around, we're not going to get people to give money, but maybe they can extend their fucking fingers. Maybe.
So PhD Tony says that the ISS had an infrared observation system called CTI operating for 4 months from 2019 to 2020. It did not see the surface. It detected hot air rising from fires and volcanoes. Now, I don't know that if that's correct or not. I'll take him at his word, but and I'll just share, forward that information to you. You could look up the CTI infrared observation system to see if it has any live footage. Maybe if that could be interesting to you. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what is interesting to me. I showed this earlier. Let me show you. It is crazy, and you can ramble on this one if you want. There's something so rare that we've only seen it 3 or 4 times, and that is the Earth and Moon together. So this clip is from a time when Dish Network supposedly had a pay-per-view 24/7 image of the Earth, and damned if NASA don't bother with it, showing us the Earth.
Yeah,
and that freaks me
I don't
out.
think it was pay-per-view. I think it was just a channel, right?
I'm pretty sure it was pay-per-view. Well, their whole entire service was pay-per-view.
Well, yeah, you had to pay. Yeah.
But I believe they charged extra for this. I could be wrong. But
no, it was a cable channel.
But there isn't but a few seconds of this footage around. And that's weird. And that there is how strange, how foreign this looks to us.
The internet's fucking slow. God damn it.
Who's somebody's complaining about the internet to the group here. Demon's Stride?
Well, welcome, MC Tune. We yeah, what's going on, man? We doing a drive-by? We doing a drive-by?
I'm doing a drive-by
right now. What's going on?
And Dan and I are having a civil conversation. It's been interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to you. It's just I don't know how yet.
All right, so we've got the video of the Earth and Moon
And that's what I'm always saying. I'm going, show me that shit, and I'll show it. I'll shut. I said it in front of like millions of people. Show me the Earth, Moon going around. I'll shut.
Well, then Melodic posted one from the Discover satellite. Is that not acceptable?
No, that is certainly, again, not footage. Okay, I'm really tired of this shit. That's really not what I want to talk about.
Okay, so
I want to elaborate on what I did show you.
Yeah, the frame rate
is the moon appearing with the Earth has appeared 3 or 4 other times. In the Starman Tesla launch, it appeared. In this case, when in the one I showed, people phoned it in as a. That's how odd it is for us to see the moon it together with the Earth.
Yeah, they got to line up. So why?
I think it was Voyager that was leaving, turned around and took a picture of the Earth. There's very few like actual images of the Earth and Moon together, like 3 or 4, and moving. Fuck it, there's only 3, I think, of it moving.
So like, how many do you need? 3 is not enough. Is 10 enough? Is 5
I just
enough?
want you to recognize how rare it is, how fantastic it would be to see, and how corny it is that you guys have excuses why only a crazy flat earther would want to see home.
All right. Well, so Liquid Flames says there's plenty of footage of the Earth and Moon from Artemis 1. I can't think of any particular portion of it myself, but somebody who's interested could find that. You might add a 4th to your video, because some of that was video.
I think that is the 4th, because I wouldn't have been able.
Yeah.
Anyway, it is pretty rare. It is weird that there's no camera on the moon. Perfect place to see it.
But if there was a camera on the moon, would you accept the videos labeled from NASA? Here's the camera on the moon.
It's not a good argument. Let's say no. Let's say no. A dumb flat earther wouldn't. But that doesn't mean the rest of the world doesn't deserve to see it.
But why is being it from the moon any better or worse, or better apparently, than where Discover is taking photos from?
I just want to point out, not only do we not see the Earth-Moon system, but the moon is a perfectly placed platform that we don't need to put up any equipment whatsoever. Another $128 for a GoPro.
But it's harder to land on the moon than to put something in orbit. Significantly harder. Orders of magnitude harder to land something on the moon than to just put something in geostationary orbit.
Okay,
there's a large number.
Question.
Okay.
How many things you think unmanned have? How many probes? How many things do you think between us, Russia? How many times do you think it's been done?
That something has successfully landed on the moon?
Yeah.
So
lots and lots.
No,
over 100, right?
So Russia just failed to land either 24 or 25. So back in the 70s, they went up to that number -1 and then stopped, and then just recently started again, but they crashed. So multiple of them have crashed, but let's say all of them landed. Let's just give success to everything that tried. They tried 25 times, I think. India now is at number 3, right? America has, of course, the Apollo missions, but has landed several other things there. So let's call that another 25, right? So and then China, Japan, give them 25. So we're up to 75, maybe. I'm just kind of rough guessing here.
But it's way fewer than that. It's in the dozens.
Let's give you the benefit of the doubt, and let's say it's 100. Now what?
I'm trying to just show the if necessary, the possibility of it, instead of just saying, oh, it's this, it's expensive, we can't. They could, and it would be inexpensive compared to everything else they do.
Yeah, but you never answered Toon's question. Why and why and why?
Yeah.
Why would it be better than an orbital based camera?
I was just trying to.
Yeah, but you're trying to not answer.
Give you the concept of a perfect platform that never is going to turn.
It's not a perfect platform. It's
the perfect platform is in orbit.
Yeah, the easiest
because the issues with the moon is for 2 weeks it's at night, so you've got if you're running solar panels. Plus, for 2 weeks it's photographing the dark side of the Earth, so there's not going to be a lot to see. And then on the days it can see the Earth, it's just going to be like a crescent Earth that's going to look that way for like days on end.
What makes you think that because it's nighttime it can't see the Earth?
No, when it's like in a full moon and it's looking at the Earth will be dark. And when it's on the dark side, when the moon when it's in lunar night, looking at the Earth, yeah, it's all good.
But it doesn't
have.
Then it has no power.
Unless you're dependent on solar panels.
Yeah, it's one of the worst places in the solar system
or
to
batteries,
view the Earth.
Larry. You really never heard of batteries?
Okay, but the point still is looking at the Earth.
No, you guys are full of excuses. That's the point.
How many batteries is it going to need, Dan?
Dan, think about it.
It's a matter of justification.
Hold on.
It's a matter of return on investment.
Yeah, Dan.
What are you going to get for looking at the static Earth?
All right, hold on, Larry. All right, Dan. You've got to run a camera for 2 weeks in extreme cold on batteries, right? And you want it to last. Yeah, it's in darkness for 2 weeks.
Not 2 weeks.
It's in darkness for 2 weeks solid, right? Half of the month. Yeah, lunar night. Half of the month there's sun, and half of the month there's no sun. 28-day month. So you've got to have a battery that lasts for 2 weeks before it has sun. And it needs to not just do it once, it needs to do it constantly. You wouldn't want it to go there and just, fizzle out after 5-10 times of cycles, right? You want it to go for years if that's what you're sounding like you want. So you want a battery that 10 years from now is able to go for 2 weeks.
Minus 200.
Well, you do know what kind of batteries they use. And that sort of depletion, that radioactive depletion shit, I forget what they call it. But it's
RKGs?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Throw money
it's not like there isn't ways of doing this.
Yeah,
it's
now
it's not worth detailing all the ways you think it shouldn't be done.
So
it really isn't.
But that makes it an imperfect place to put a camera, because now you have to have a rather complicated battery system where if it's in orbit and it has access to the sunlight all the time, you just need to fold out a solar panel and you have constant sun.
And here's what they are planning on.
It's
they are planning on putting a
closer.
radio telescope there.
So the closeness or farness isn't that big of a deal. It's just the camera optics. So we're looking at that picture of the Discover satellite, pictures of the Earth.
1 million.
That's just that's a million miles. That's a different optic on it. So when it's you have to put high quality optics on it. So you're gonna have to put one way or the other. That doesn't really matter much how far away it is. So
this Galileo shot is cool, Larry. That's a cool shot. I'm putting a great link I sent you. I already sent it to you, Tim. This is a really, really good video on the shuttle program, because we think we know everything about the program, and almost all of it we didn't see, as this is demonstrated by this iceberg thing. Really, really tight, cool video. Oh my God, this Corp guy. Fuck me. You should talk to this Corp guy.
And do you realize what those iceberg things mean? The fact that they're making videos on it. It's not that we didn't know about it. It's just that general public didn't know about it.
Well, it talks about how it incorporated into Systems Forward and how little they had it together. How the whole program is about going forward. So
the shuttle program.
Yeah,
that was part of the cell. Right. The shuttle program was approved during Apollo 16. Apollo 16 was on the moon, and Congress voted yes on the shuttle program. And this is the funny thing: the Apollo astronauts, Duke and I forgot the other guy, were there. They're like, "Yay, that's awesome!" But no, that meant the end of Apollo.
Hey, so MC2, and I'm asking your mods here. Can you do me a favor and have them link the the invite for this Discord in your chat, that'd be great.
Sure.
But you guys stop on by to Medicinal Mass Media, and you guys can have conversations here all day long, Monday through Friday. We usually got stuff going on throughout the day.
Yeah, it's Friday. You get Kick.
Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
Tuesdays you have a Dunk, a Flat Earther. On Wednesday you have Cooking with Flat Earthers.
Oh,
and
do they only?
And like tonight, we just had a Mandela event. We went over. Dan was so kind to bring an event for us, and we had almost a 2-hour thing going on about the Mandela effect and the simulation theory.
Was Brian Stavely here?
No, that's a good question.
He is the main Mandela effect guy that I know.
I immediately sent it to him with a laugh. I go, aha, I made a Mandela effect video. That's funny. Yeah, that's actually sort of it ended up being a somewhat of a flat earth story. I don't know if you know that, because really, if shit isn't written in stone, it doesn't have to be flat, globe, or anything else. If shit's this flexible. Of course, most of that's crap, and that's what we were going to.
I learned tonight that the dome, that gravity. Hold on. According to Sleeping Warrior, gravity is refraction caused by the dome flexing because of convection currents.
Leave Tony alone. He's a good guy.
That's what he said.
He's a good guy.
I don't. I'm gonna have to take umbrage with you saying that he's a good guy.
I find him very amusing.
Amusing. I'm on it with that.
Well, he gets reactions, and that's valuable.
Hey, Toon, people are begging for the link in your chat.
Oh, yeah, all right, I'll get it.
They want to know where they can come.
Just
That'd
a
be
second.
Great. Thanks for helping me out, buddy.
I'll do it. All right.
Thank
all you begging.
Yeah, thank you.
There
That'd
it is.
Be great.
All right,
go
McToon,
grab it. Jump in.
So, number one, we should always assume you're recording. I guess now.
Well, yeah. I'll say most of the time when I'm on a Discord server on voice, I'm recording. Yeah.
So much like the police's interrogation, everything I say can and will be used against me.
Dan, everything
on let me know next time. I'll help rep the event.
This
I can get it set up on my end clearly too.
This was no planning.
I just want to get clear on the rules here. If we speak in direct message, is that still fair game to you? Or is that
generally that is not? But I was, to be fair, while I was posting those things, I popped over onto it. So, somebody's got a feedback going. I don't know if that's you. Yeah. But if you wish things to be held in confidence, then let me know and I will.
I just think that we should separate it by DM.
Yes, that's fair. That's fair. But that way it's fair. This I think this is a lesson for everybody. What happens on the internet stays on the internet. It's the opposite of Vegas. Anything you ever do, you should assume somebody will eventually have recorded somewhere, and at the time when you least want it to be exposed, it will show up. That's a fair way to consider your actions, everybody on the internet.
Okay. I'm old fashioned too. If you send me your phone number.
If what? You cut out.
If you would send me your phone number, I would send you mine. If you care to discuss anything privately, let me know.
Okay. I have a separate phone number. Actually, I have a Skype number in the UK as well. Just so that I can call people in the UK and they call them. So.
And they think you're local. Are you a troll? I mean, do you troll?
No. I mean, like, I called into Mark Sargent's show using the UK number because I wanted to use Skype.
That's funny, yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's somebody in the UK." He's thinking, "Oh, it's middle of the night," and he like jumped me to the front of the line. I wasn't intending for that. But then Karen B hung up on me almost immediately.
And on TM, you hit the phone, you can just like have your own little Skype call in DM, and that's really that's the best way, in my opinion.
Yeah. But to be fair, you don't know. There's no way for you to know if the other person is recording or not. It's always possible. So I will. I'll shoot straight. If I'm not recording, I'll tell you I'm not recording. If you ask me,
I can hear you, Cole.
Cole. I don't hear Cole.
Yeah, you gotta unmute Cole, MC.
Who's Cole?
Coal-mining man. Let's see.
Oh,
Cole. It's just Cole.
Cole was okay. I did. He had some microphone noise. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So I apologize, MC Tune. I was just going to tell you that I would try to moderate for you if it got too crazy. That's why I was asking you to just make sure I was unmuted. I'm going to go back on mute now, though.
Okay. All right.
Are you happily married, or do you think about Karen?
I do not think about Karen.
He wouldn't tell you if he did.
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you that Karen B and I had a long and friendly conversation on Facebook DM going back to 2019. Because Right the Hand, Chris Z, he is super rude, and he had been posting things on Facebook about Karen that were super rude. And I said, hey, Karen, I wanted to let you know this is a problem. I got your back on this. And so we had a great conversation. Then when I called into Sergeant, she got upset at me, and like if I was shocked. I looked at our conversations before that. I'm like, why? Anyway, she flipped out. You look at the end of that particular stream. I don't know. I just like to say she's such a kidder. I got nothing against her. I'm not mad. But man, she gets so mad at me. So,
well, we should have a mad off and see if she hates me more than she hates you. I promise.
Oh man, that would be a competition.
We should gang call her that show.
Who do you hate more, Karen? Why does she hate you?
For asking questions, about FE Core being over with and why they were pretending it was still alive.
Oh, okay. Like that. Yeah, because she was on the board, right?
And for helping destroy the People Finder, so Weiss could reuse it repackage it as the Friend Finder or whatever he found.
Yeah, I don't think my audience is aware of that situation.
I'll save it for another time.
Okay.
It's public though. I mean, it's just basically there was something called the People Finder by Zoom Truth, and he had modified a Home Depot page that allowed you to put in your zip code, and he hacked it in so he could put in other stores basically, but the people became the stores, so it was an orange dot while Weiss now has a blue dot, and the People Finder was a great idea.
An app on a phone that
it was still on it was being developed for the phone, but it was still on zoomtruth.com.
Okay.
And he bitched that he wasn't getting any support out of the upper echelon, so he went on Weiss's one day, 6,000 subs, and was like, right on. And somehow the programmers fucked up and asked everyone to re-sign up with their password suddenly didn't work, and nobody ever did. And during that, Bob Nodell's kid, underage kid, acted as a hacker and found supposedly some sort of security problem with it. So Bob and Karen went on the air and attacked the People Finder instead of helping him fix it, which was their claim, is that they tried to help him fix it. And if you ask him, they bullied him into taking it over. He wasn't really able to give it to them to take over.
So take over. Did Dearth actually like take something from him, or did he just like have somebody rebuild it from scratch?
So when you made your video like 3.5 weeks ago, I'm all because Weiss doesn't mind that I call him a thief on this.
Oh,
and I've calculated a shitload of money. He only had 30,000 subscribers when he bagged it. Now I know he's done other things and some good things, but he has over subscribers now. So that means 70,000 people paid the $3. I think he's covered his costs now. He always said he covered his costs.
Oh yeah.
I mean, that he was putting it back into the app. I'm pretty sure none of this accounts for the fact that to use the piece of shit, you got to pay $10 more.
Yeah, there's a monthly or annual fee. Yeah.
Total bait and switch. $3 doesn't get you anything. All the things that you want to do, it costs you another 10. So who knows? Let's say he's got 10% of his 100,000 doing that. That means he's generating what, $100,000 a year there, on top of the 210 that he took in the past few years to pay for the app. So in other words, he's in a surplus situation now, and I just can't wait till we can get like a center or a school or something that's a physical place for Flat Earth, because that'll make it more rock solid.
Maybe Witsit should relaunch Audit NASA as Audit Dearth.
It's just clear.
We're onto something. We're solving problems here, Dan.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. That's not going to happen, but I'm just hoping that there is a surplus of funds, like if it were up to me, legal funds. If we had access to a lawyer, it'd be nice.
Well, what about Ben? Ben from Taboo Conspiracy is said to be a lawyer.
Yeah, guess what? First of all, Ben rocks. He's a great guy. I mean, if you ask me, he's the most solid, real flat earther kind of out there. To really think about it, he doesn't hang out with anyone. He can't stand the scene. Period. I mean, really.
Okay. But is he actually a lawyer though?
Oh,
I had no reason to disbelieve until I watched his video on Antarctica, and after watching that, I'm like, he did not come across this legal talk as a lawyer would.
All I know is that when I met him, we were working together side by side, and I said something about Mark Sargent. He made a face. And then when I hassled him a second time, he lowered his brow. Like, don't even talk to me about Mark Sargent. So I just want to give you an idea. The level is really high. And everyone's run away from me because of that. And, it's hard to be, for me, it's been hard to be part of a community that's really. So it's funny to hear you guys go, oh, it's a cult. And I'm like, really? Where are they? What's the rules? How do I do it? Believe it or not, it's pretty fucking hard to be a flat earther.
Well, a cult in not the sense like Scientology is a cult, right? A cult more in it's a religious group that's an offshoot and is distinct from the group it kind of came from.
Let me tell you a revelation, or a couple of revelations. I didn't realize that Flat Earth may be a lot more of a religious group than I ever thought. I always shot that down. I also didn't understand why people said, why don't you guys believe in Australia? I absolutely didn't understand what that meant. Because of course we believe in Australia, but what they're saying is you're ignoring the Southern Hemisphere. So believe it or not, for 4 or 5 years, I didn't even understand what that accusation meant. Because I'm like, who denies Australia being there? So that's a weird communication gap. Also, since I was looking at space, the Black Knight satellite is something I always thought was interesting until I saw it was a blanket. And it wasn't very interesting anymore.
It's a blanket?
Yeah. And that, I always
Cosmic
thought that,
blanket. It's what keeps us warm.
and it is a thermal blanket, and it got away. And it's like there's some images of it floating about before it got away. And I was like, wow, how did we not notice that? So I guess before we split, I'm pissed because I can't look up things with freedom like I used to. Certain things are blocked. It's a hassle. To find that Mir spacecraft thing I brought up just now to show you, or to put, where's the Mir, it's called. Man, it took me many tries to find something that there used to be dozens and dozens. There's a lot of shit taken down. The censorship sucks. If we can find that there's a hole in NASA, and I could go back, we could talk about this sometime, about the whole Thomas Barron thing and the Gus Grissom thing, and how NASA really was on shaky ground to begin.
In the 60s?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they were cutting corners. We've gone 180 degrees from that. At least
in safety measures, you mean?
Well, at least in talk. Right? They're like, well, it needs to be certified here. We need to certify this. We need to certify this. But in the 60s, it's like, all right, let's go. We got to ship it.
What do you think of the dude that says you got to send unmanned stuff first so you can start building a habitat and shit? Like, that guy has his shit together. You know the guy I'm talking about? They keep turning him down, and he talks about sending the 2 craft
to the moon
and Mars. He don't care.
I mean, Elon's idea for Mars is, you send a whole bunch of unmanned things. You get a whole bunch of things down there, so that when people show up, there's a bunch of resources. But when you're at Mars, you're stuck there. You're not just coming back in a couple days. So that makes sense. At the moon, you go there, you land, and then you can leave after a bit, because the trip home is about the same no matter when you go. And in Mars, you have certain windows. So that's it.
All right. Yeah. Well, if you could look at that infrared shit, it would be great.
Yeah, I'll look at the videos.
If we could do something on NASA history, that would be fun.
NASA?
Somebody said NASA. Somebody's dreaming. All right.
No, that was me.
All right. Well, Dan, it's been a good talk. Thank you for that.
Somebody's dream. All right, that was me.
I'm gonna pop out of here, go back to my my live stream and chat there a little bit, and then
I'm not gonna check on you. I'm not gonna check on you, so try not to talk shit about me, okay?
Thanks for stopping by, MC Toon. I gotta let your audience know that it's not just full of derp. That's only when you're here. All right, we talk about all other things. It's not just flat Earth. Your audience is a little one side there, buddy.
When the window into your server is only when I'm here, and there's flat earthers, then that might be what they think. But yes. Demon Stride server is not a flat Earth run server.
No, it's a safe place for me to avoid flat earthers. Actually,
there you go. So go in there and you can have Demon Stride server. If you know Gem Panda, it's kind of like that server.
No, it's not. There's none of the hatred here like that.
No. I mean, just the topic.
Only by
except we don't allow people to attack characters. You got to attack the arguments, and we don't allow bullshit, except for when you're here, Toon.
Yeah, that's yeah. All right, I'm even unmuting DMOC so that the next time we can get a little taste before we move on. But thank you, Dan and Demon Stride. We'll catch you later.
How much money did you roll in during this? Do you count at the end or what?
I'll let you know when he pays me.
Yeah.
No, I'm always curious about that because that's why I don't support it. It's not. That's why it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, NASA sends. I just roll in the gold. It's all. That's how it works.
Technically a stipend, Dan.
Yeah. They have requirements. They're like, here, this is your topic. I'm kidding.
All right. Well, here I have a little more flexibility with I won't get muted as quickly as I would on your channel. So if you want to do something again, ask Demon and we can do it.
All right. Okay, everybody. We'll see you later. Oh, that was a pleasant surprise to get Dan in a good mood. I didn't know that he was scared of me. I didn't expect that. I really don't know that. I didn't know that I had that impact or effect. So anyway, I got a few super chats. Dan's gonna be sad that I got these, but I do thank you so much for them. Stringer News 1, I already read this. Said, thank Titicaca, it's Thunes Day. And then Stringer News 1 again said, what's the rim velocity of this flat Earth? So I got that. And that's why I said I calculated the rim velocity necessary on flat Earth with the dome to be, I didn't put it in here. Sit with 3,000 miles an hour. 3,000 miles an hour the dome must be moving with all that mass on it. Amazing how that works. MK Ultra getting real cheesy. Let's see. William Foley says if Hawaii's on the dirt pizza model, then there is pineapple on your pizza. Yes. Excellent. I love pineapple on pizza. Look, barbecue sauce with chicken. Love that. And then pineapple, Canadian bacon. That's good. That's good stuff. Put some banana peppers on too. Jalapenos. MK Ultra pizza says Pizza the Hut Earth. Mr. Toffee says, where's the pineapple on that map? FTFE said, I missed this when he said it. You're doing maths with an S. Weird. That's not fair to the Flurfs. They can't. And that's, this kind of stuff is what, it's kind of a separation, right? If you can do this kind of math, then you can think about it and say, well, that doesn't make sense. Even just kind of figuring it out in your head. So all of you are like, have something like this that you experience maybe with flat Earth. Like, this really can't work. The sun could never set. The circumference of things would have to be different, things like that. And where flat earthers are like, it's just, they're blind to it. Math is definitely a foreign language, and I didn't understand that. Even having kids, my kids all have an aptitude enough for math. Some more than others. Certainly some struggle, more than others in math. But man, to just be completely incapable of doing simple stuff. I on Facebook this week. So Quincy, who's the actual pilot, the flight instructor who only does short flights. He's on Facebook and he's still yapping about flat Earth, and he's like, why doesn't the handbook, the flight handbook, mention Coriolis? And I'm like, I will pay you $100 by Bitcoin if you use the Coriolis formula to tell us what is the Coriolis for your plane at your latitude. I, of course, have already calculated it. He wouldn't. For $100, he wouldn't try to calculate. He could have asked somebody else to do it for him and then post it. And the reason why, he's incapable. I gave you the formula. It's multiply, divide. That's it. He couldn't do that. The reason why I wanted him to do that was to show how small it is. Coriolis force for an airplane is minuscule. It's way less than a wind, sideways wind. Coriolis is directly proportional to the velocity. So a hot air balloon that's just above the ground, or say a helicopter hovering above the ground, has 0 Coriolis. A hot air balloon is moving slowly. It has very little Coriolis. In fact, it has the same Coriolis as the wind, so they're working together. And you can see the Coriolis force acting on the wind in hurricanes. But an airplane at 700 or 600 miles an hour has a very small amount of Coriolis. Still, a large airplane. A small airplane, like what a single engine plane has, it's 0.000 something. It's very, very small. He couldn't do it. That's the thing. He couldn't do it. So here he is, a flight instructor, and he can't do basic, 7th grade math. All right. The Nobel Prize says even flat earthers know that the Magic Space Pizza is both their best model and absolute garbage. That's why they claim no model. Yes. Yeah, because every time you test flat earth, it fails. So a reasonable person would say, well, looks like it's not possible. An unreasonable person will still hold on to it. And then, knowing full well that their model doesn't work, will still hold on to flat earth and then boldly proclaim that they don't have a model. As if that helps. It does not. It does not help. And of course, they will both claim that they don't have a model and claim that they have, and specifically point to a model.
We don't have a model.
Even though Austin says that we don't have a model, he will still say things about the Antarctic Treaty and that it's a circle. The 60 degrees is a circle. Well, there's only one flat earth map that you could possibly be mentioning. This one. This one is a circle. He has said in videos, Antarctica's around the outside. That's this. The consequences of that one sentence is this. Say the sun and moon are doing circles. That's what it is. You don't get to... There's consequences for these things. If you say that, that's what you mean. We know that. Edison Carter says flat earth is raw, topped with seafood, pineapple, and cow pies. Served under a glass cloak. C-L-O-C-H-E. I might have mispronounced that. Maybe it's a French word for something that covers the food. I don't know. I just call it a lid. I don't know. No wonder Flurfs avoids serving it as evidence. Yeah. FGFEs don't forget the dome flexes due to convection currents or something. Cretenball says, how many football fields, a unit of measurements Flurfs might understand, is it from Mount Pepperoni to the island of Brocker? I didn't read it all the way through before I started saying it. It's a good one. Cretenbull says, how many football fields is it from Mount Pepperoni to the island of Brocker? Dang it. It was a Brockery. The island of... Oh, he did. He wrote it with an R. No wonder I'm messing it up. I'm reading what he said. I'll read what he said. From Mount Pepperoni to the island of Brockery, Floret. How many football fields is that? Please do help us. The Sun Express says we should make a graphic with all the solar eclipse tracks of the last 100 years drawn on the space frisbee planet. Have Flurfs explain how the shadows are possible with sun moon doing circular laps overhead. That is one of their claims. When you say, well, show us how Flat Earth predicts eclipses, they'll say, oh, it's just a repeating pattern. The track is not a repeating pattern. Yes, it is. It's not. They never look at it. Well, it can be predicted. All they know is to parrot their Papa Flurf, because their Papa Flurf said it's predicted using the Chaldeans or the ancient Babylonians or the whatever, No, they weren't. They weren't doing date. They were just doing date approximately. They weren't doing time, location, totality. So PT Tony says Dan is an Tony. Such a harsh word. Dan, it starts with an F and then ends with wit. He was in a good mood. That was great. If Dan and I could talk like that, then super. I would love that. String News 1 says, Dan, NASA isn't Simon Says for idiots. Yeah, why would anybody care to put an infrared camera on the ISS that you can pan, tilt, zoom? Are you gonna do it from Earth? Because now not only do you need to mount a camera to a custom mounting thing, it needs to, move around, and you need to have a protocol somehow to get from Earth there to control it where it's pointing. Why? Now you have to have a person in charge of deciding where it's pointing. That's not free. That's not $185 on Amazon. The camera's not $185 either. You're not putting up an infrared camera that you got off Amazon or wish.com. Like, he's never worked in a bureaucracy at all before. That's why I brought up State Farm, right? State Farm is a bureaucracy. It's a mess. It's terrible. The compliance things, all right? Email software. We have all sorts of compliance things we're always looking at. It's a mess. Some customer sends us a list of things that we need to answer. Do you do this? Who approves changes? What about engineering change requests? What about this? Like, all these things. Like, seriously? We just want to fix today's problem. PhD Tony says the atmosphere is opaque to infrared on the ISS length scale. An infrared camera on the ISS will not see the surface. This is basic atmospheric physics. I didn't know that. The atmosphere is opaque, so an infrared camera cannot see through the atmosphere at the ISS length scale. So now if you're by the other token there, PhD Tony, if we're looking up from Earth through the atmosphere, is that opaque to an infrared camera, or is it a different kind of camera? You're saying the ISS length scale? Obviously, there's different wavelengths of infrared that are interesting. So the FLIR cameras that I've seen, when you look up, it's black. I don't know. Don't know enough about infrared to answer my own question on that. The Sun Express, Flurf, put my $195 infrared camera on the ISS. Gib pics will deny resulting digital images anyway. And that's, yeah. But put a camera on the moon. Why? You will say it's fake. We've already got cameras all around the Earth. You say all of them are already fake. Why would you do anything different with another camera? Okay, be honest, accept all of those, then say, well, now I need to have one on the moon. And the logistics, it's cheap. No, it's not. Well, it's just a battery. It's not just a battery. It's no concept of reality. Like, never worked in an environment where you have responsibilities, where, something needs to work a year from now, 2 years from now. I write code so that I can read it later. Not just somebody else, right? I'm going to be reading my code later. I'm going to forget everything. I have to assume that everything I wrote is not going to be in my head when I come to it the next time. Right? And hopefully I'm being nice to the next person to come along. I have responsibilities for what I do. You must not have responsibilities for what you do to think they can just put a battery on it. That's not how it works. It's weird. Real Cygnus says 159 PTZs. PTZs. I'm missing that context. PTZ. Anyway, I'll move on. Maybe you'll clarify for me. PhD Tony was talking about the infrared CTI system. Then Professor Parks, PhD, says, cash for fighting the good fight and giving the great laughs. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Professor Parks. The Sun Express says, are the Flurfs even aware We get daily satellite photos, multispectra, of activities in Ukraine from commercial operators unaffiliated to NASA. It wouldn't matter if they are aware of that, because they will go with their standard answer, fake. They don't even think that these wars exist, some of them. So, why would they think that photographs of the war would exist? Sharky's in, says, member 2 months, but no message. Did I miss it? Did it get something? I'll scroll back, see if it's in. Nope, it's not in this. Well, thank you for that, Sharky. As a member super chat. Judy, you got this. As check general and Discord for doggo nose pics. Oh, we might have some show and tell to go here. Let's see. Oh, yep. Is this the same dog? Looks like it, yeah. So, all right. So she said, I'll put them up on screen. There's pictures of my much missed doggo Basil with nose close and nose farther away. So, all right. So this wasn't done just now. This obviously had to be a an old photo. So, all right. There is that. Let me get it up for everybody to see. There you go. Look at the doggo. So cute. All right. And here is nose close. There you go. So where's the ears? What? Is Judy got this lying? There's no ears. CGI because there's no ears. Oh, that's cute. I'll leave that up for a little bit. I'll leave the cuter one. How about this? There you go. There you go. Liquid Flame says, I know it doesn't matter now, but for the future, this is just one of the many of videos from Artemis 1. Oh yeah. And of course, we know what they'll say. The only thing that they ever say. They always claim it's fake. So there you go. Earth and moon together. That there's this wobble in it. I don't know what that wobble is, but no doubt Dan will use that to claim it's fake, right? Or a flat earther. Why would that be? Why would it be any different? But yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send that to Dan. So there you go. Sent to Dan. Well, thank you for that, Liquid Flames. And then Max Rim Velocity. Love that. Max Rim Velocity gifted 10 memberships. Thank you for that. Here, I can read out. Eric Meyer, Slackback, Nick McBay, Wade Vanka, Daryl. No, not Daryl. Oh, hold on. Gene Graves. I read people that didn't actually. Nick Lauder, Sean Hawkins, Holmwrecker, Peacewise Functioner, Ben D, and Bobby Alaskan Explorer were all the happy recipients of the memberships from Max Rim Velocity. So thank you for that, Max Rim Velocity. Steve6464 says the moon does wobble. It does, but not that fast, right? That was the wobble is like a monthly wobble. This was like really fast wobble. So Liquid Flame says the wobble is probably because it's sped up or a time lapse. Yeah, it certainly was looked like it was a time lapse, because the interaction between the sun and the earth and the moon isn't 10 seconds, 15 seconds, however long that took. So maybe it was because the Artemis was at a varying distance from the moon for that portion, I suppose. I don't know. Coffee Breath says the wobble is the azimuthal grid of vision. All right, who's this? Bearsworth. Please don't go there. Those slugs have an offspring are probably more fulfilled than you. Is Bearsworth? Are you a flatty? Are you hurt? Metabrot Set is asking Bearsworth, do you have any evidence that the Earth is flat, or do you just stare off into the distance with your mouth open? Yeah, Bear's Breath appears to be a flatty. I'll say this, Bear's Breath. I'll just so you know, this is the best flat Earth model that's ever been presented. It's as good as every other flat Earth model at explaining the flat Earth. It does celestial navigation just as well. It explains the distances between points on the surface just as well. In short, it does absolutely nothing. And just like, all the other flat Earth models, nothing at all. It's completely useless, just like all flat Earth models. If you can't answer simple questions about flat Earth, then it's certainly not true. You can't get to complicated questions. How do you determine the distance between things? What's the circumference of 40 degrees south latitude? What's the dome made of if you think there's a dome? Who discovered it? Why would you say there's a dome if there isn't any evidence for the dome? Why does the dome not reflect radar? Simple things like that. Oh, all right. We got Piecewise Functioner sent me a message on Discord. I saw that, but all right, let me read. Do you think STEM teachers, communicators, and scientists, mathematicians in general are responsible for science denialism due to the oversimplification or incorrect info in high school? For example, you can't square root a negative number. Electricity flows from the positive to the negative. This combined with the communicators and pop science journalists talking about fields they have no training in and making mistakes would put distrust in the armchair scientists, so to speak. Sorry for it being a long one. That's a great question. Let me... there are plenty of pop science journalists that are terrible. Journalism as a whole has issues, and when you deal with science, then those issues really come to the front. So, clickbait. You need a title to an article that will get people to go to it, right? It's the clickbait. And a lot of the time, the person that writes the actual article, isn't the person that selects the title. And what do flat earthers read? They only read the titles. And this isn't flat earthers, though. This is people that aren't, that bright. You get into the article and like, oh, it's too much. It's over their head. So they just read the title. And often the title is not reflective of the content of it. Just the other day, somebody had posted on Facebook 2 different articles from a similar time frame. One about the rotation of the Earth speeding up, and one about the rotation of the Earth slowing down. And they're like, ha-ha, caught something. Of course, pop science journalism is not where you go to find, actual science. It's just pop science journalism. But this person doesn't have the is not discerning enough to identify even that simple thing. So is it STEM teachers, communicators, scientists that are at fault for not informing people that a pop science article is not a high quality journal publication? Yeah, and yes. When you're doing journalism, you have a target audience. You want the audience to understand it, and your audience is not people that have completed multiple years of college STEM courses. It's the general population. A lot of the time, general population has a scientific understanding of probably 7th grade or 6th grade. So that's your target. So you've got to dumb things down, and then the title dumbs it down even more. So not I don't know. It's tough. They have a goal of selling new, you know, getting people to read their stuff. So you can't square root a negative number. I don't know. That's another example. Is that okay? So you can you just get a value that you can't output a hard number, right? What's the square root of 4? 2. What's the square root of -1? The square root of -1. So you can do it. And then later, if you multiply that, right? If you use that in a problem, you're like, oh, I got a square root of -1. What do I do with that? Well, let's leave it in there and see what happens. And you do a bunch of other stuff, and you wind up multiplying it by itself, and you pop out -1. Right? Or you can use it for other things, right? So it's used in but not in high school. It's a rare class where you're going to find anybody making use of the square root of -1 in high school. So what do you do as a math teacher in high school when you get to the very real fact that you get square root of -1 sometimes? You're not going to teach them about the stuff that they're not ready for because it's a complicated topic for most of it. So, electricity flows from positive to negative. That's a nuance. I don't know if that matters. In reality, the direction that electricity flows hardly matters to anybody until you get into some, pretty much higher level engineering type stuff, physics type stuff. So, what's frustrating is I'll read a pop science article, right? It's like, oh, this new thing's coming out, and be like, awesome. I want to. They're talking about they've interviewed maybe the authors of a paper. That's right, and they're quoting them, and they're like, oh, this is a great new thing that's coming out. And I'm like, oh, let me scroll to the bottom. I don't need to read the rest of the fluff. I want to read the actual publication from them, and it's not there. Like, what? Why didn't you at least include a link to the publication? Right? Last week this was published, and I interviewed the author. Well, it wasn't a future article. Certainly you could link to it. They don't. So you're like, all right, well, let me go to Google Scholar, take the author's name and put it in and try to get the date and try to get this, and you got to hunt for it now. It should be easier. It should definitely be easier than having to hunt for it. It should be at the bottom. And that's that's a failing on the journalist part, and I don't know if they're gonna fix that because they didn't read the article, the paper, the publication. They're not going to. They interviewed the scientist, and they probably didn't understand half of what the scientist said. So, all right. Bearsworth says, is history written by the victors? Does that mean it's probably a lie? No. It could be colored by their victory, certainly. Is he still flirting it up? I know it sounds stupid, but when I look into it with a fine-tooth comb, it's all BS. Look into what with a fine-tooth comb? You don't have a fine-tooth comb to go through science. If you're talking about science, there's probably more than just material. I don't know. That's what I find. Yeah, you're welcome, Peacewise Functioner. That's what I find with flat earthers, right? They're like, oh, I looked into it and there's holes in it. Like, you're not actually equipped to look into it. The holes that you think are in it, well, you go read the papers that they published. You go learn the physics and the science behind it, and then work through it. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Well, did you actually do the work? No, you didn't. Well, then how do you know it doesn't make sense? You're not equipped to know if it makes sense. So, Flat Earth Law Scholar says, no. They say history is written by Victor. The 5-star general that quit the Boy Scouts. Victor Crute. Victor Crute agreed to debate me last week, but he's off Facebook, so I don't know where he is. He's Anyway, I am going to say thank you very much. It's been fun. I will probably, that if you caught it, that first little clip that I did, I might just post that on that part on my Conspiracy Tunes channel. That one I like. The one I did the other day, I wasn't so sure about. So anyway, now hear this. MC Tune Live is now awesome. Well, thank you, Borg Emporia. So anyway, people, it's been great. It's been fun. I had an unexpected happy conversation with Dan the Waterman. That was good. I don't seek dumpster fires. They're fun, but I don't seek them. I've certainly had the dumpster fires with Dan, and that was a good conversation. So that is what I actually want. It's not the same entertaining, but that's what I really want. So hey, if Dan is questioning flat Earth and saying, well, maybe it doesn't make sense, good. That's really what I hope for. I don't, you may know, I don't try to convince the person I'm talking to when I'm debating them. I'm trying to inoculate somebody else so that they can hear, the science, and they can hear the derping, and they can say, oh dear me, the derping is terrible. How can a flat earther think that? And then when they see something from Dearth, they're like, oh, well, yeah, asking the obvious questions. When Dearth says that the sun moves in and out in radius, you can ask the question. That doesn't what makes it happen. So anyway, that's what I got. People, will see you on next day. That is Tunes Day. Here we go.
MC Tune, drop that beat.
All right, let it flow. Let yourself go. So I know that is the tempo.
So, yeah, let's do this. So
let's do this. Yo, it's MC Tune, the debunking tycoon. I shatter flat earthers, make them face the moon. Your attempts are decent, but they'll swoon in the face of my logic like a deflated balloon.
Oh, MC Tune, the one soon cartoons. On the real say, send it first to their dues. Your theories are like old brooms, sweeping ignorance or just spreading the views.
FDFE stands for fumbling the facts, evidently. I drop truth bombs so splendidly. Your approach is soft, mine's unrelenting. I bring the science while you're just venting.
MC Tune, the buffoon with silver spoon. I have the pseudoscience, make them change their tune. You're the sidekick, I'm the maroon. When it comes to debunking, I'm the broom.
But hey, FDFE, we share the creed to educate and debunk the plant the seed. Though in this rap, it's clear indeed I've got the upper hand in word and deed. All right, hold on a second. The Zoom call died. Everything died. No.